Hey, what's up, guys? My name's Chris. Welcome back to the channel. Today, I have a guest with us, someone that is actually rather similar in their business approach as, say, me, but very different at the same time. And the commonality, not only of our job titles, but he's also a veteran of not only one, but two branches of the service. I want to introduce my guest, Jaleel Manns. I hope I said your last name right. And
You got it,
thank you for being on the show, brother. What's going on?
man. I'm doing great. I'm so happy to be on this show with you because you know, I've been watching what you do, man, and it's amazing. I'm watching you on social, I'm watching you in some of these groups, and I'm just really blown away at, again, like you were saying, we do similar things, but our approach is very different at the same time. So yeah, I'm here and I'm helping people kind of transition to becoming I guess sometimes they call them knowledgepreneurs, right? They're leveraging their knowledge to either create courses or maybe do some coaching online. And so that's what I've been really doing. I've really been getting down to the nitty gritty of helping them put together a quality course, something that resonates, something that people actually want, something that people are definitely willing to pay for. Two, helping people set up online businesses. So there's, I think through MarTech, over 8,000 apps out there now, right, that we could be using or pairing together. So I bring to the table an offering of simplicity, right? Simplicity and a system that just works. And then, working with these entrepreneurs to help them put together a system that's not only successful, but very profitable. And then lastly, we're launching a podcast, and the focus is going to be is show up and show out. And I've met so many people. I was inspired to start this because I'd met so many people who have unique gifts and talents to share. But some people are a little camera shy, right? Or they worry about how their voice sounds, or they're not exactly sure what they should be doing on a live stream or on a podcast to guide someone to their product or to their service. And so those are the three ways I primarily focus my knowledge and my experience to help people grow online businesses, start courses, and really show up and show out.
Well, let me tell you something. First things first, thank you for being here. Secondly, that's fantastic. I'm going to be taking notes during this call. So, I mean, I'm really, really excited to hear the depth of knowledgepreneur. I actually really like that word. I've never said that before, but I think it would be an injustice if we didn't speak about your service to, in my opinion, the greatest country to ever be. Being a combat vet myself, being a Purple Heart recipient, being a grunt in the 101st Airborne, I cherish the moments to speak to anyone who's serviced or served our country in whatever capacity. I don't give a shit if you were a cook. I don't care if you were a ranger. I don't care if you were Delta Force. I don't care if you were comms. I care that you serve the best country to ever be and ever will be. So maybe you could tell us a little bit about your service to two branches of the United States Armed Forces.
Yeah, I'm with you. I understand the importance of everyone's job, and one job is not one more important than the other, right?
Exactly.
Getting our mail, getting our meals, everything is the same and equally important. So, I started off in the Army, and I worked in comms. So I don't think the MOS even exists anymore. It's a 31 uniform, signal support system specialist. Fixed a lot of radios, laptops, computers, programming secure frequencies, that kind of thing. And for a 17-year-old who just graduated and just took off from home, it was a life-changing experience I wouldn't trade for anything. Unfortunately, sustained some injury and wasn't able to continue. And so I returned home and managed a few restaurants. I did well, you know. I always try to do well at everything I put my hands on. And so I just got fed up with it. And I went to my boss and I said, listen, man, it's nothing personal, but I got to get out of here. I got to get the hell out of here. This is not working for me. It's messing with my vibe. I'm not cool, you know. And so he said, yeah, man, you need to get out. You need to go join the Navy. I was in the Navy. And he said, if it wasn't for a bad accident, he said, you know, all these pins in my hip and stuff. He said, I'd go back in a minute. He said, this job sucks, you know? And so, you know, he talked me into talking to the Navy recruiter. This was a funny part of the story, man. My recruiter was all about, you know, 5'2". She was a machinist mate. And when I got to her office, she had this black Louisville Slugger baseball bat. And I said, what is that for? She was like, for suckers who waste my time. I said, oh. She was like, so you are joining the Navy, right? I was like, absolutely I am. Or I'm going to die trying, right? So,
Imagine being married to her.
oh, MM2 Gil was not, well, MM1 Gil was no one to mess with. Don't let the height fool you. She will stomp you down. So, yeah, so I got into the Navy, had the pleasure of serving as an aviation structural mechanic. So I worked in a search and rescue squadron. We obviously rescued people. There's about 300 of us, maybe, you know, 12 helicopters. And I had the opportunity to serve in corrosion control. I ran the line division. You know, we were responsible for every helicopter going in and out. Got to go overseas to Puerto Rico. A bad storm hit Puerto Rico, and we were flying around the island, you know, we were flying around the island just to, you know, see if there were people in the water stuck on land, you know, and I love my job, you know. I always have this, you know, I feel good that I was able to help people, to help save lives. And so, you know, I always encourage young people, if you don't know what you want to do, go in the military, you'll figure it out. Either you'll figure out you want to stay there for 20 years and retire, or you're going to figure out I need to get out of here. But either way, you come out on top. You know, if you figure you got to go out, you get inspired to start a business like we did. You know, we got out of the military and we started businesses. So the world's your oyster, but you'll never get another opportunity to meet people from different backgrounds, different countries, find out how they live, have dinner with them, you know. Like it's an experience I have no words for, you know, and I'm so glad that I did it, not once, but twice.
The military almost cultures us, right? To a degree of like for instance, I'll use myself as an example. I was born and raised in Connecticut, right? When I got to Georgia for boot camp, no one knew where Connecticut was. Like, I would have to say, oh, it's next to New York. Oh, okay, New York City. Yeah, yeah, New York City. Yep. And I didn't know about the deep woods of Mississippi or Alabama or Missouri, or everybody seemed to be from Texas in the military. It was like, where are you from? Texas. Where are you from? Texas. Where are you from? Texas. Oh, okay. So it almost, and it's everybody different race, nationality, heritage, first generation, second generation, third generation Americans. And it cultures you to like basically teach you that the world's vast and the country's huge. So I agree with you. And then if you have the ability to go out of the country, like I lived out of the country for 2 years. So, you know, I was immersed in cultures that I didn't even understand, let alone understood their being of who they are, what they stand for. Countries I never heard of. I went to a little country called Qatar for like 2 weeks or something like that. And I've never seen so much wealth in my life. And I've been around very wealthy. Here on the shoreline in Connecticut, you have wealth from the 1600s. You have fuck you wealth. Like,
Yeah, that's it.
but Qatar is the taxis are S500 Mercedes. Everybody's royalty. You know, gas is 10 cents a gallon.
Oh yeah.
Completely different ball game, And the military does a great job at exposing culture and teaching culture, in my opinion, if you're open to it. And speaking of culture, business is also culture, and culture within business. And I speak on culture all the time. Me speaking on culture is not what is needed for today. However, I'm happy to add to it. Speaking of business culture, you got out of the Navy, it sounds like. And from our conversation prior to the show, it sounds like you pretty much forefronted or were at the beginning of your industry. And I want to hear all about it. Like, tell us, right? Tell everybody listening about why you wanted to be an entrepreneur, why you did it, and what you do.
Yeah, being an entrepreneur was just something that I really couldn't get away from. My dad was he's still, in his 60s, is still running a nonprofit, a consulting company. He has his own church, and he's operating multiple businesses, traveling the world, meeting new people all the time. And so I kind of got bit by that bug, after high school and when I was in the military. And I was actually had my side hustle when I was in the military. So I used to go to cyber cafes and go create a website. And, when the mail comes in, I got some money coming in, and so it was something that I never really let go of through that entire process. And so, I got out of the military, went to college, thank God for my GI Bill. So I don't know anything about student loans. Yet
Me
another
neither.
benefit of joining the military. And so, went to college for business administration management. Was managing a restaurant full time, so 60, 70 hours a week, going to school 4 days a week. And then, I started two companies while I was in college. So one is High Velocity Global. That's the agency I started 12 years ago. The other company was actually a personal chef business that I started. So I loved cooking in these restaurants, but I didn't feel like there was a lot of love going into that big 200-pound batch of mashed potatoes, right? So I started these two companies, and there was another reason I did that was because I wanted to test the value of what I was learning while I was learning it. So I had the benefit of doing business with some of my professors in college. I was on the dean's list the entire time. So like my accounting teacher, I did her website. She's like, "Come by my office. I need to talk to you." Okay, and did her website for us. And I don't know what this is for, but everybody says I need one, and you're the guy to do it. And so I had lots of opportunities, and entrepreneurship really means the world to me because um, I'm kind of unfamiliar now with requesting days off and counting PTO to see if I can go to my friend's kid's soccer game, or go hang out with my friends or stay at home and record videos for my business, right? That flexibility means the world to me. And then there are other things that come along with that is my contributions to the visions of people with huge ambitions. There are clients that I work with, a therapist, a clinical therapist who's now challenging the traditional way of therapy. I'm helping him put his course together right now, as we speak. And seeing the content, really woke me up, and I'm thinking, wow, you know, the times that we're in now, there's so much information readily available everywhere. Like, there are people out here that are contributing knowledge that we had no idea even existed, or ways of thinking that we didn't know even existed. I've got another client, Gail, who she developed a course, How to Help Your Choking Child, because a friend of hers lost her 8-month-old in a choking accident. And so, she just seeing this vision come to life means so much to me as an entrepreneur. Um, to be able to help somebody who has no technical ability and help them translate their vision into something that other people can use to keep their child alive. It's how long does it take for an ambulance to get there? We don't know, right? Depends on how busy they are, how far they are. You have to be empowered for things like that. So it's these kind of moments that really help me kind of embrace entrepreneurship and understand why I'm doing it. And I'm doing it to help other people achieve their dreams. And that, I mean, I don't think there's anything I can do that could top that.
I think this is my opinion, okay? Um, not knowing my complete background, I led the fitness industry as a gym owner, and a internationally recognized competition coach for competitors, for the first decade of my entrepreneurship. And I made an incredible amount of mistakes during that decade. But side note, I tell people, if you're in your first decade, you're just getting warmed up. I mean, all the mistakes are going to happen then. But that's not the point. The point that I'm getting at is I've helped change tens of thousands of people's lives, right? Bringing their vision to a reality through their fitness. And it's incredibly fulfilling to do things like that. As I move through midway through my second decade, 14 years in, helping people change their mindsets and bring their business to life as entrepreneurs, and seeing their vision of maybe hitting the $1 million mark in their startup company or landing their first client, anything, right? Making $200,000 sales. And it's not about money, but what I'm talking about is the fulfillment that comes from helping someone else achieve what they're looking for is, and I agree with you, man. Yeah, I could sleep very well at night because of it. And yeah, I understand exactly what you're saying. And to articulate this to the audience, right? Finding purpose fundamentally is what we're discussing. Finding purpose as teachers is because fundamentally, you could classify it differently. But I classify myself as a teacher. I teach. We teach. And watching someone use our direction to change their lives is as good as it gets. And I not only love clients in doing it, but I really like, my thing with almost 20 years of leadership is leadership. And my big thing is watching my team change. Like, they don't pay for it, but I fucking ride them hard,
Yeah.
especially when they're doing well. Ride them real hard. I don't give them any room to breathe when they're doing well. But when they're not doing well, as a leader, you back off and you tell them everything's going to be okay. But what I'm getting at is the fulfillment of watching people change and bring their vision to life. And in my case, my team, they've accepted that their purpose is to grow my vision, our vision. And that, like what you're discussing, is for entrepreneurs, especially that are kicking around the idea of beginning to do a side hustle or scaling their company, regardless of the services that we offer. The purpose is what 95% of humans will never experience, because they won't go through that first decade of fucking everything up, not having money and trying to figure it out. Right.
Afraid to make mistakes.
And then exactly. I pray for mistakes because it's a lesson. But, really what I wanted to say is, and I wanted to add to something you said, talking about days off and like PTO. I'll tell you a little something that I do in my companies that we don't talk about publicly very often. We don't have PTO and days off. You need 6 months off? Take it. You need the week off? Whatever. Go handle your shit.
Yeah.
I'm still going to pay you. But here's the thing. When you don't have PTO and you don't have days off, your team doesn't want PTO. Your team doesn't want days off.
True. Very true.
I don't know if you've ever experienced that, but something that I've found is this. At this point in my career, moving into year 14 as an entrepreneur, I have to negotiate with my team to take time off. I'm talking, guys, listen, it's Christmas, okay? Go be with your families. I don't want to hear your excuse that you have a project you want to work on. I get it. It could wait. Christmas can't. I remember my personal assistant, Paola, you saw her before the show started. Mm-hmm. And this is the last thing I'll say because I'm taking over the conversation here. She was with me 2 or 3 months back in 2020, and it was New Year's Eve. And I called her. I was like, hey, I am grateful for you. Thank you for everything that you're doing. You're amazing. It was like 10:30 at night on like New Year's Eve or something like that. And she's like, oh yeah, no problem, Chris. I love being here. By the way, what do you think about this? And I was like, what are you doing? And she's like, oh, I'm working. And I'm like, Paola, it's New Year's Eve. You have children. What are you doing? Oh yeah, we have deadlines. So what's the answer to the question? I was like, nah, I don't do this, but stop fucking working right now and go be with your family. Okay. I don't give a shit what your deadline is. I don't care what we discussed. I'm overriding it. And I don't lead like that. Like what I say goes. Like,
right.
If a leader leads like that, they're bottom end management at best. Okay. Right. Very military, but, but anyways, when you have that level of like trust in your team and you treat your team like entrepreneurs, holy shit, do things grow and people purpose and you change lives and the fulfillment. And I didn't mean to overstep your conversation. So let me shift back into you. And now that you explained what you do and how you do it, and why you do it, what's the future? How long have you been doing it? And what's the future?
Yeah, I've been online doing this under High Velocity Global for just over 12 years now. And the future looks great, Chris. I learned to stop trying to lead the dance, right? And the clients kind of help me understand where the next move is, where the next shift is. And so instead of me trying to figure out where it goes next, they usually guide me. And with this great resignation thing going on, and people just up and leaving their jobs and trying to come up with ideas to start a business. I mean, I think things are great. I'm systemizing these. What I do is I put together hybrid courses. So in the past, I realized that self-guided courses aren't always great for some people. They don't have that discipline required to go in and absorb the material, do the work, do the same the next day. It's not their fault. Maybe it's just a learning style that they're bored with. And so what I did was I created these hybrid courses and coaching, which allows me to not only guide you using the on-demand training. So you would watch the video, you do the homework, but I'm part of that process too. So once a week, we all get together. I field all your questions. I screen share and I show you how to do certain things you have problems with. And I found that as a more effective way or more effective solution for some people who don't really want to let go of their entire course or coaching program being put together by someone they just met. Instead, they're looking for a more collaborative approach of putting it together, because on some level, I think too, the business owner really needs to understand exactly how the system works, right? Not necessarily how to do it per se, but just to know, hey, this person gets 5 emails after they take this action. And so if a person says, I just got your email about blank, they understand where that person is in the journey and what needs to happen next. So it's a bit more of a hands-on process, and I think the clients that I've been working with, they love it. They've been able to I've been challenging them, when it comes to putting together their avatar and who they're speaking with, and uh, how does that person tie into the product or the service that you offer? And also, how do you talk to this person? What have they tried? What have they not tried? What frustrates them? What kind of goals are they trying to accomplish? When you can really dig deep and do what we call, get all the fields, right? Now you're making a true connection with people. And so that's something that, I've been working towards improving that process when we're working with our clients, to make sure that we're making that connection, that people are seeing that the product or the service is exactly what they need and that it's arriving right on time. If we can create that, then the sales all come naturally, and the clients get to build a life that they're really excited about. When Omicron picks up again, I've got one lady. She just said, "Hey, I'm just going to spend more time adding to my course. I'm going to do a second course now because I have sales coming in." Right, so I'm okay with that. I'm just going to create another one and build another source of revenue. So that's kind of what the future looks like. Is that I won't be working with a ton of people, but I will be pretty selective. Working with the people who are really committed to growing this business and really serving on a higher level. So I think that was a deep answer, but that was the answer I have for you.
I listen, I enjoy deep conversation. Actually, I long for it. So I think that was beautifully stated. And your entire time that you've been on the show, you've explained things very well and very easy to follow, and deep at the same time. And I think we definitely are going to vibe very well together in the future. And before I close the interview out, I'm going to ask you one thing to leave the audience with, anything you want to say. But before I turn it over to you, just know that I'm grateful for your time. I'm grateful that we connected. Which group did we connect in? The Veteran Business Owner Group?
Yeah, it was Veteran Business Owner Group. Yeah, I'm grateful for being here. I'm grateful that you invited me, and grateful that I accepted, because it's I do a bunch of podcast interviews, but you don't always collect, connect. You don't always have that camaraderie of connection of being military frat brothers in a way, right? So
Yeah.
I love being on this show. I'm glad that you invited me, and I can't wait to rebroadcast this because
Yeah. Well,
everybody should see.
yeah, I appreciate it, man. And um, maybe this is the start of several to come, like a mini series.
I'm
Leave.
down whenever you are.
Yeah, hell yeah. When if you were to leave everyone with one piece of advice or one insight or one philosophical observation, because it sounds like you're philosophical, what would you offer the audience that is looking to get ahead in life?
Wow, to get ahead in life. Well, you've got to commit. That's the word. And I don't mean half-ass commit. I mean, like, really truly commit. Like, truly commit to getting out of the bed, making the bed so you're not tempted to hop back in it, and having a structure, a process for building a life that you want, and living it on some levels. When you really look at building a life that you could live, you're really looking at the freedom of it all, right? You want to make some money online, you want to coach, you want to do a course, right? But really what you're yearning for is that freedom, right? And so in order to have that, you have to do that with your mind. It all starts in here. If you don't believe that in your mind, if you don't truly believe that you can have that life, it'll never work. You've already psyched yourself out, right? But if you begin to live it, and I started to do it, my friend said it was crazy. They're like, well, why are you going to that IV spa or whatever? I was like, cuz I want all the nutrients and vitamins in my body when I go work out. Well, that's something rich people do. Probably, right? You know, um, getting the car that I wanted. When I got the car that I wanted, I love fast cars. So I got a Dodge Charger, but I saw that car and every one that went by, I noted it. I downloaded the app, the CarMax app, and I was like, all right, cool. When they get one in stock, I'm going to know about it. I went down there, I test drove it. I made it real in my mind so that when it came time to buy it and I bought myself a birthday present, I went straight down to the lot, looked at the car, test drove it, told them, let's do the deal. Let's go. Right? Let's go. And so that's what I'm telling you is to make it real, to commit, to dream about it, daydream about it. It's your mind. You have control of that. And so for those things that you want, you have to continually make them real in your mind. And so if you can do that and you can commit and you can get up every day at 5:15 and you can go through the motions and you can do it with a smile on your face, I can guarantee you're going to be that much closer to having what you truly want.
Gold. That was gold. That also is very Napoleon Hill. One of my favorite authors. Do you read Napoleon?
Oh yeah, definitely. I read Napoleon, and right now I'm reading Think and Grow Rich: A Black Choice. So that is a kind of rewritten version of it, but it speaks to African Americans, to
Interesting.
blacks about business. So it makes some relations with, other people that look like us. So, I love Napoleon. I love researching. I love business. I study so much and people don't understand. I'm always watching videos. Jaleel, you already know that. So, I want to see what's new. I want to find out what's going on. I want to be in touch. I want to be connected. So when my moment comes, I'm prepared for it.
Let me tell you something. First things first, that's cool as fuck about the book. And fundamentally, it's cultural, right? And
Right.
and I respect that. And 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 before we close this out, I'll give a little bit of gold. I have three coaches, and two of them run multi-billion-dollar companies. Okay, and they've been in business for 20 to 25 years. And when they talk to me, 95% of what they say I already know. Good. Reinforce it. You're 10 years ahead of me. Very good. Tell me everything that I need to hear because I've studied it, I've learned it, I've written a book about it. But you saying it, where your company's 10 figures, is reinforcing.
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
like, I teach self-development, I teach personal development. So I spend the first 2 hours of my day on myself, teaching myself gratitude, meditating, writing affirmations, reading, and educating myself. So pure gold, dude. And everybody, where can they find you on socials?
Oh, on socials, you'll find me everywhere. So Jaleel Manns on Facebook, Twitter, uh, and we'll share some of that stuff in the show notes, jaleelmanns.com. That's a great place to start. Go there, find out about some of the things that I mentioned here on the podcast. And, if you need help, I'm willing to share all the knowledge, experience I have to help you kind of go over those speed bumps smoothly or avoid those potholes. So that's really what it's all about. But I love this. We got to do this again real soon.
Yeah.
I've got some ideas, but we're not going to hold up the people right now with that. But
All right.
uh, I love this show and I love what you're doing out there. And I look forward to doing it again soon.
Jaleel, you're the man. And I appreciate you being here. And to everybody else, guys, I'll catch you next time. We got more gold coming. Until then, I'll see you later.